Hi, this is Joe Bolen, and welcome to learning about VisualBasic.net. In the last video, we looked at using the ComboBox and loading it up with the fonts that we have installed on our system. Not only do we retrieve the font names that are installed on our system, but we also displayed in the ComboBox the font using that particular font that we were displaying. So if we had a fancy cursive font, it would show up in the combo box that way, as well as being a sans serif type font or a serif font that might show up in our combo box. And that made our combo box much more lively. Now we could have used the font dialog box, but in this case we used a regular combo box to do this. Now in this particular video we're going to do the same thing. Instead of using the color dialog component to pick a color, we're going to use a regular combo box and give it the colors that we have in Visual Basic, as well as showing those colors in our combo box. So that'll give you the flexibility of using either the color dialog box or using this combo box approach to show the colors and pick a color for whatever application you might be using. So let's go into Visual Basic and learn how to do this simple project. Not very long, but it takes a little bit to understand. So let's go into Visual Studio. I'll start out with a new project in Visual Studio. 2015 is what I'm using, the Community Edition. Make certain I've got Visual Basic for my installed template. I'm going to go to the Classic Desktop using Windows Form application. And we're going to call this the color. There's combo box demo. Okay, colors combo box demo. I'm just going to say okay. And we've generated our solution with our first form. First thing I'm going to do is highlight the form. And I'm going to come over to the Solution Explorer. And what I like to do is give things descriptive names, which is very important as we code. So form 1, I'm going to highlight the Solution Explorer and right click and go to rename. They call it main form. So it's going to be main form VB. Now I'm going to come over to the box itself, highlight it, make certain main form appears in my properties window, and I'm going to set some of the attributes for the form itself. So the text is going to be called colors combo box demo. Okay, and I'm going to come up and select the font size, and I'm going to click on the ellipsis button where we have the fonts dialog box, and we'll go with Seago UI, which is Microsoft's recommended font. Regular font style, they recommend 9-point, but for this particular demo, I'm going to be using a 12-point font to make it a little bit easier for you to see on the screen. So we're going to use a Seago UI regular font style, 12-point style size. Okay, I've got that set, and you'll see that the form itself has changed a little bit. I'm going to go down to the size attribute and change it. I already know pretty much what I want for the size. I'm going to use a 470 by 240 for the size. And we could have also used the sizing handles to adjust things as well, but I already sort of know what I need for the size on that. So I've got that set. So the three things we have done thus far is we've set the size to 470 by 240. We've set the font to Seago UI 12-point, and we've also set the text property to our colors combo box demo that appears on the title area of our menu. Okay, so let's at this point save all, because you see a little red dot says I have not saved it. Hit the save all button, and it'll bring up a dialog for me to save it at a location. I'm going to use the defaults that I have here. I'm going to put it in the projects folder and create a directory for my solution. So I'll hit save. And now that little red dot's gone away, indicating that I've saved that information. Okay, let's bring our toolbox up, and we can bring it up either by going to the left side where I have it. If you don't see it on your left side, come up here to view, drop down, and you'll find the toolbox. Okay, I'm going to go to the toolbox and pin it so I can work with it easily. First thing I'm going to put on my form is a label. I'm going to drag it over, eyeball it right about there. And this label I'm going to give a name to, so I'm going to come up to the name property, and that will have the name colors ComboBox label. Okay, colors ComboBox label. And for its text, I'm going to come down and make the text for this one. I'm going to go ampersand, which gives me the quick access key for the next letter I type, and it's going to be COL colors colon. So now I've got a quick access with the C. Alt C will allow me to go quickly to the label. The next thing I'm going to add in is the ComboBox itself. I'm going to drag the ComboBox, sort of eyeball where I need to have it. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And this ComboBox needs to be renamed from its default. We're going to call this the colors ComboBox. Okay, and we don't need to do anything more to that one at this point. So we've got a colors ComboBox for our name for this ComboBox. Okay, the next thing I'm going to add in is one more label. I'm going to put it right about here, sort of line it up a little bit to the other one. And this particular label will have the name of colors example label. And I'm going to come down to the text property, and I'm going to give it sort of a placeholder of selected color that will change when we actually run the program, but it'll be a way for me to easily work with the label at this point with having some text there. I'm going to come up and change it a little bit. We're going to come up here to auto size, and I'm going to make that a false by double clicking on that. And now I have the sizing handles. I'm going to grab the corner of the sizing handle and drag this out here a little bit and make it a little bit bigger, about something like that. Let go of it. And now I want to change the border style to fixed single. So I'll hit the border style property and change it to fixed single. I'll put a border around my label. Then I'm going to come down to the text align property of this one and change it from top left to middle center. And on that, also I want to change the font size to a little bit bigger one for this one. We're going to change it to 18 point. There we go. So now I've got a label that I'm going to use the back color of the label to display the color that I select in my combo box. And I'll use the name of whatever I have in the combo box, and that'll become the name that'll display here instead of selected color. So we've got everything set here. One of the things I also want to do is I'm going to drag over these two. I'm going to highlight them. I'm going to set their anchor property, both of them at the same time, to top, left, and to right. And for this one, I'm going to drag over the label and select the label this time and set its anchor property to not top. Well, we'll keep top. We'll just make it all sides there, and that'll keep it right in the center when we resize the form. So anchoring it allows us to resize the form and keep things relative to the sides of the form we're working with. So I've got that set. Now I'm going to save all. I'm done with my toolbox, and I'm ready to begin some code. And what I want to do first is double click on the form to create the load event. The load event's where we're going to do our work to get the combo box ready to go. Once we have that ready to go, then we'll code the rest of the parts of the program that we need to do. So I'm going to highlight the form itself and double click it. That'll take me to the form and the code behind. And I'm going to do a little cleanup here to make it look a little prettier. I'm going to put a continuation mark, which is a space underscore, then enter. It allows me to wrap the line down. It makes it a little easier to read. Now what we're going to do in this particular one is get our known colors. So I need to declare a variable, and we're going to use LINQ, language integrated query, to get that information. So I'm going to dim, and we'll have a variable that we're going to call known colors. And we're going to make it equal, oops, not known, make it known colors. And we'll make it equal to system dot enum. Now, colors are enumeration on that, so we use the enum. Get names here, because it is more than one we're getting. And what we're going to do is get type. And the type we're going to be getting is known color. Known colors. So we get the known colors. And I'm going to use the singular on this, known color, because we want to get the system colors, the enumeration on that. So I have known color. Then I want to do some filtering. So what I'm going to do is hit the period, and we're going to use the where. I'm going to come on down here and select where. And what I want to do is select only the known colors that are not system colors and are not transparent. So what I want to say is where, and since we're using Visual Basic, we type in function. And in that function, we put in a variable. In this case, I'm going to just call it KC. And KC is going to be get type. Oops, get type. And get type, it'll be system colors. We'll get system colors on that. And we want to get the property of those system colors. In this case, the known colors we're going against, AC, on that. And we want to make certain that it is nothing. In other words, we don't want to find any system colors. So we're going to do is nothing. And also, we're going to use the and also. KC is not equal to known color dot transparent to string. And then we're going to order it. Getting a little long here. Order by. In this case, we're going to put in a function. And that function will use a variable KC again. That function will just order known colors, KC. Okay, now let's see if I've got it right. No errors, but it's a very long line, as you see. So let's break it up, and I'm going to go right after the period there and drop it down so we can see it a little bit. And also right here, I'll put the underscore and drop it down, and we'll make it order by, drop it down, and that'll make it a little bit easier to read our known colors. So we're going out and we're using LINQ. We're getting all the known colors, but we're filtering out the system colors. So we want to make certain that we get those that aren't system colors, and we're also filtering out the transparent color. Then we're ordering all those colors in order by ascending on that. Now, that's our LINQ query, and it makes it really nice. Once you learn how to use LINQ, it becomes a very nice tool. Now let's work with our combo box. So let's do a with colors combo box. We're going to work with some of the properties of that combo box. First of all, we're going to work with the data source. So I'm going to hit dot data source. And what we're going to do is take our query, our LINQ query, and we're going to use bind it in there, known colors, and we're going to do a toList. And that will cause that query to bring in all the colors to our data source. Then the next thing I want to do also here is a very simple one, is I'm going to do a selected index. I'm going to set that to a -1, and that'll clear out our combo box to start out with. So I've set those two properties. Whoops, I missed my toList there. There we go. So we've got that all set. Let's see this load up and see if we get our known colors in our combo box. Okay, let's run it. And there is our form. Let's hit our drop down, see if we get our, there they are, all came in fine. So there are all the colors on our system, lots of colors to pick from. Okay, now let's get this to paint this label with the information that we've got. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to close this out, and now let's go back to our code. And what I'm going to do is add a handler here. Add handler, and we're going to use the colors combo box. And we're going to use the one we're going to use for this is going to be the selected index change event on that. So we're going to come down, get the little, you'll see a little lightning bolt, and that's the selected index change. And then we're going to add to it address of, and we're going to give it the colors combo box, and we'll use the selected index changed, if I can spell. There we go. Now we don't have this one created yet, and so what I want to do is create that. So I can look at show potential fixes, or hit the little red thing here, generate a method, and that's what I'm going to do. Now create my method. So now we've got the method. Okay, let's code inside that method. We don't need the throw. We're going to put something in there. So what we're going to do in the combo box when we have it active is we want to first of all make certain the index is not -1. So we do if colors combo box selected index is not equal to -1, then we're going to do our code. And in their code, we're going to do colors combo box, and we're going to change the text so it displays our text now. And we're going to display in it the colors combo box selected item. And selected item is an object, so we have to turn it back into a string. So we selected item to string. And that takes care of getting that to a string. Now we want to set the back color of our combo box, and we're going to set the back color to, in this case, the back color is be color dot from name, and we can use from name as our method, and our from name method in this case will be colors combo box selected item to string. So once again, we're getting the value of the to string and making it the back color. Okay, so what has happened here is as we come into the load and we've loaded up our combo box with known colors, we then have created an event called the colors combo box selected index change event that it fires off when the selected index change occurs on our combo box. Then we come down into this procedure and actually take care of setting the back color and the text for our combo box. So let's watch this one work. See if we've got everything working correctly. There's our combo box. I'm going to come down and I'm going to pick Bisque for it, and let's see what we get. We get it in our combo box, not in this spot. So I made a mistake on that. Okay, let's make a quick change then. Okay, let's go back to our code. Instead of colors combo box, it's the label we're after. And I made a mistake. Colors example. Example label. There we go. And now we'll change that one as well. There we go. Now we've got the right control we're working with. The label there. There. Now let's try it again. And now we'll try Bisque again. And now we've got Bear's Beige. Let's go to Burley Wood. And so we've got the color coming in as we select it on that. Let's go with something like Crimson. Crimson's a bright color. There we go. On that. So we've got that working perfectly. But now let's get this to show what we want there so we can see the colors. So let me change that. Okay. Go back to our code. Now we're going to go to an event for our combo box, and I'm going to go back to the designer. And I'd like to show you in the designer, I'm going to highlight the combo box, its properties, and I'm going to go to the little lightning bolt for the events that are there. Now the selected index change was the main event for the combo box, which we already coded. But now I'm going to go to the draw item area where we actually draw the item. So I'm going to come up here to draw item, and I'm going to double click on this to create that particular bit of code in the background. Let's go back to our code. Now I'm going to clean it up and bring that around. Now, and here's where we actually draw our combo box information. Now, one thing to do though is to make this work, I've got to change my combo box's properties. So I come up here to the combo box, and one of the things I need to do on this is set the draw mode. So that's set, and the draw mode in this case is going to be owner draw fixed on that. So we've got the owner draw fixed for the draw mode, and that then allows this draw items to occur on that. Also, we're going to control how many drop down. So we're going to change our drop down to integral height equal to true, or let me check on that. No, false. Integral height false, and that allows me then to do the max drop down items, and I'm going to set it to well, let's set it to 8 on that. So I've got some attribute changes I've made. The important one is the draw mode being changed. And that allows this procedure to occur where I can actually begin to draw my combo box. So in this area now of my combo box area, let's do our work. So I'm going to declare, what's the dim keyword, my combo box as combo box. And this particular one is going to be the sender that we have coming in. This is the object coming in. So what I'm going to do is make it equal C-type sender, and it's going to be a combo box. So what I've done is cast the object of sender into a combo box that I'm going to call my combo box, where I can now reference it. Now I'm going to get the color. Whoops, I lost my parentheses there. Now I'm going to color, and I'm going to do a dim, and we're going to do my selected color as color, and we're going to make this color equal to color from name. And once again, we're going to get the name from my combo box, and we're going to go to items, the items collection. And here's where I'm going to reference in the items collection the E index on that. That'll give me the one I've got selected. And then I'm going to turn it into a toString. There we go. And that'll give me my color that I'm going to be working with from the combo box. And then the last thing is I want to get one variable that I'm going to store to keep my size of my color that I'm going to be drawing. So I'm going to do my rectangle size. It's going to be as integer. And that integer is going to have the value of what I have inside there. In this case, I'm going to be working with the E bounds of the combo box, get the height of it, and I'm going to take 2 pixels from the top and 2 pixels from the bottom. So I'm going to do a -4. That'll give me a little space inside. Now we want to reference the background, so I'm going to go E background, draw background. Now we're going to, once we get the background, we're going to declare our brushes. We'll use the using statement, my brush as, let me get that brush, as new solid brush. On that, we're going to get the solid brush of E4 color. Okay, so now I've got the brush, the 4 color on that. Another using statement, my selected brush as new solid brush, my selected color. There we go. So I'm taking the color that I've got up here from the combo box and now declared a brush with that color. Okay, now it's time to draw our rectangle. So we go to get the rectangle. So we're going to E graphics. And once I've got the graphics on that, we're going to do a fill rectangle. Fill rectangle. And then in the rectangle, I'm going to take my brush. The first parameter is my brush. So I'm going to do my selected brush. So I've got my selected brush that I've declared with the color that we were using. And then we're going to use the area of the x-coordinate e-bounds. And here's where I'm going to go e-bounds left. In other words, I'm going to come over in that combo box area left, and I'm going to go 5 pixels over. Okay, that takes care of that parameter. Then I want to come down from the top are 2 pixels, so I'm going to add 2 here. Get +2, assuming I type +2, and then I'm going to set the size of that to my rectangle by my rectangle. There we go. Now let me break that up so it's a little easier to see. Okay, there we go. And what I'm going to be doing is creating a square color in there that is just a little bit smaller than the area that I have of that area in the combo box area, and draw that color with my selected brush color. Then I'm going to overlay that. So I'm going to do eGraphics again. And this time we're going to do the draw a rectangle. And this will draw the outside of my one. In this case, I'm going to use my selected color. Oh no, I'm going to use a black. So I'm going to use new pen. And the new pen will be brushes black. And there's our black pen. There we go. And then the rest of the parameters are exactly the same as above. So I'm just grab this real quick. Grab that, copy it, and I'm going to paste that in here. So we've got the same thing. So I'm using the exact same dimensions, but the difference is I'm changing it now to brushes black and drawing a rectangle. Now, let me show you this real quick so you can see what's happening. I'm creating actually a little box with a color. Let's do a start. And now, as you see, I've got the colors, little boxes set. There is the different colors coming in. Now we want to put the name in this part of our combo box. So we're drawing those in now. Now we could have changed this and made it longer if we wanted to, but I just decided to keep it square, make it easier to code. So let's now add the rest of the part to get our name in there. So what I need to do there is draw a string in place. So we're going to do the eGraphics on this eGraphics. And we're going to use the draw string method. And that draw string method will be, in this case, we're going to draw the actual value, my selected color dot name is going to be what I'm going to draw there. I'm going to use my combo box. My combo box dot font, the font that I already have for the combo box. I'm going to use my brush, and then I'm going to do it e-bounds. In this case, e-bounds dot left. So we're coming from the left side of the combo box. We're then adding my rectangle space, and then we're going to add a little bit more. In this case, we're going to add 10 more pixels on that to come over. And then we're going to bring it down from the top, ebounds +2. And the last parameter is string format. String format, generic default. There we go. Now let's see if we've got that right. We'll break it up a little bit, make it easier to see. Clear over to here, ebounds. Oh, I see I made a little error here. Ebounds dot top. And our last parameter down there. There we go. So those are the ones that we have on that. And so what I'm doing is coming over from the left side, the width of my rectangle +10 on that. So basically we're looking at the rectangle size +5 plus another 5. So we'll see it on the other side is 5 on that. So the last thing I need to do just to finish this up after the end using is we put in the E draw focus rectangle. There we go. We got it all done. Let's run it and see it run. Okay, now let's see if we get the colors and the name. And we do. Let's pick in chartreuse, and there it came in. And we see the names are right there with it as we pick our different ones on it. So when they come down to floral white, we'll get that. There we go. So we can see that we can use the combo box, displaying the colors in there and drawing it. Now let's go back to the code and review what we did to get this. Okay, let's take a look at that code once more and review all of it. Let's come up to the top. Once again, we start out with our load statement, which is before the form displays. We use language integrated query to get the enums of known color on that. And so it pulled in all the known colors. Then we said, but we don't want to get all the colors. We want to filter it. And so we use the where part of the lambda expression. And we want to not get, in this case, the nothing part. We'll say that we don't want those colors that have a system property or system colors property to it. And we also want to not get the transparent color on that. Now we could change that if we needed to, but that's basically we don't want those to show up. And then I ordered it to make certain it's in ascending sequence. Then I took this known colors and assigned it to the data source to the to list, and that took care of loading it into the combo box very quickly. Then I turned the selected index to -1, so nothing's picked when we first start out. Then we did some changes also to our combo box to allow the draw mode to occur on that, and that's the important one for this exercise, to get the draw mode set. And then we created a handler that fired off our combo box selected index change procedure down here when it changed the index in the combo box. And what we basically did was take the colors label, example colors example label, change the text property and the back color to what we had selected in our combo box. And then in the process too, we also, when we are drawing and seeing the drop down, and we're doing that, we're going out and creating the color rectangle, or in this case a square, because I kept the sizes the same. And we also then created a border around it using the black brush. And then we finished out by drawing the name of the one that we had selected. In this case, it was the mySelectedColor.name was the string that we were actually writing to the combo box. And the trick here is to come in and get those initial ones set. You'll see that coming in. I'm getting the sender as an object, casting it into a combo box, and also getting the selected item from there. And then in this case, I'm getting the colored name and assigning it to my selected color on that. So that's how we do that. The approach to drawing in a combo box or a list box is pretty much the same. So you can use this concept for a number of different things if you'd like to make a little bit more control occurring for your list box or combo box. And you'll also see how I added the handler. Now, I didn't have to put this in here, but it's sort of nice to do this when you're working with combo boxes that are being loaded up so that it doesn't fire off prematurely the event. So I'm basically keeping the selected index change event from firing off until I activate the add handler statement. Once that's activated, then everything's ready to go. And in this case, I've already preset it to -1. Otherwise, it would, even if I set this, once I allow this to occur without the add handler there, and this became handler combo box selected index change, this would have fired off with a value of 0 because that would have been the initial index. And we don't want to get the 0, 1. We want to wait till the user selects it. And that's why we set it here, hold off and use the handler line to wait to activate this line of code on it. So there you have it. Once again, let's take a look at where our documentation is for this one. So you can go out and reproduce this one. All the code that I have there with more documentation is out at Pastebin, and you'll see the Pastebin location gives you the exact code that I worked with in here. Also, you'll see a screenshot at Imgur that is of the combo box with a drop down with colors loaded into it, so you can see it again and use it to help draw your own combo box. And then you can watch this video and other videos that Bolen presents. So pause your video at this time and write down the URLs to this, and then go out after the video and take a look at the code in more detail. Try it out, download it, create the form for it, and you'll find out this is not too hard a program. It basically only has 3 subroutines in it. The drawing part probably is the most complex in terms of understanding how to draw with eGraphics. And then if you're new to LINQ and also to enumerations, using LINQ in here to get the known colors is perhaps new for your experience. But that one line of code does everything. And you'll see some other people that do the same task, but they do it with a lot more code involved. And with LINQ, we can do it very efficiently, and it doesn't take place until we actually do that assignment to the data source of the combo box. So remember, take a look at the code out there. Come back often and get your hands dirty in the code with me and learn more about VisualBasic.net. We're starting to get a pretty good handle on a large amount of controls that we can use in Visual Basic. We also are getting a little bit of an understanding of how we code through and work through problems to create our code. And we're going to slowly move toward working with databases later on in the series. But I wanted to get you with a good foundation of learning how to deal with things within Visual Basic first, so that as we move to the more complex part where we learn ADO.net and work with a database as a back end, that you'll know how to use the controls, because we'll want to load the controls up with a database. We'll also, for example, a combo box with the database. We want to use a data grid with the database, different things. But once we have good understanding of those controls, then it becomes much easier for us then to build upon that by learning about ADO and working with a database. So please take time to learn the different controls first, get a good grasp of those by getting your hands dirty the code and trying it out. Do little experiments with combo boxes to learn how to load them and play with them as you've seen in the last couple of videos on that. So take care, get your hands dirty in the code. Until next time, be good.